This episode of Moist Meter brought to you by GodSlap Issue 2. Go to godslapbook.com to order your copy now.
Initiating moisture.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're taking a look at Chainsaw Man. This anime had more hype around it than if they announced a sequel to the Bible. Everything about anime this season was geared towards how great Chainsaw Man was going to be. I couldn't stop hearing about it. People keep recommending it. And it was being animated by Mappa, so all of these things put together into a beautiful stew was a recipe for hype. So I went into this show with very high expectations, and I'm happy to say I wasn't disappointed at all. The show's just really good. Now, this plot isn't anything super unique or special. It's a very simple, very standard storyline. There's devils out there, and there's people that hunt them. So we follow the devil hunters. Our protagonist has fused with the chainsaw devil, so he's got a dangly little ripcord on his chest, and when he's ready to, beat and eat some ass, he yanks the ripcord and has chainsaws shoot out of his arm and out of his head, and then he just absolutely gores everything around him. The story isn't anything incredible, but the characters are really fun. It's just unapologetically goofy. For example, the main character, Denji, is just this extremely horny kid whose main motivation is squeezing tits for a long time, and then he gets his first kiss, but the girl that kissed him pukes in his mouth. Like, it's not afraid to be over the top and silly, but also self-aware. And this show has spawned a hornier community on Twitter than Genshin Impact. I swear to God, this show must have changed people's entire lives because there are so many accounts that are dedicated to just talking about who they want to fuck and why they're their favorite girl and this and that. Like, it's a full-time job for some of these people to thirst over the anime characters in this one. But of course, the main selling point of Chainsaw Man has always been, as I understand it, its action, which is brought to life beautifully by Mappa. Mappa has done so much work over the last couple years. They've said yes to like every anime project imaginable. Like, if there's been even whispers of a manga being adapted into an anime or a new season of an anime needing another studio, it's always Mappa that raises their hands to do the work. They're like the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. They can't turn down any roles, but unlike The Rock, every role Mappa takes is a fucking hit. Like, they only make bangers. They've done so many anime over the last couple years. I don't know how they haven't spread themselves out too thin and had the quality, suffer for it. But somehow they're able to keep up an incredibly high level of quality, the best in the industry oftentimes. And all that talent's put on full display with Chainsaw Man. The action is amazing. Every time there's a fight, it's over the top, it's gory, and it's so great. And it goes hard. It goes so fucking hard. I love that the main way of fighting for people that aren't the main character, Denji, is through contracts with devils. So a lot of the devil hunters, well, all of them, have contracts where they can use other devils' powers. So one of the devil hunters has a contract with a ghost devil where she has a little ghost arm that she can use to strangle and blast people. There's a cursed devil that another main character uses. It's a really fun way of fighting that keeps it fresh, where everyone has very unique ways of approaching combat. And they spared no expense when it came to the animation. They didn't take any cheap ways out. This is very clearly a lot of work going into it to make it look the best that it can, and it really pays off. The show's just great. I don't have any major complaints about it. I have like a couple minor nitpicks, but none of it's like important or detrimental to the overall show. I think oftentimes it gets lost in its own horniness with its main character, so sometimes that gets a bit grating. But it's never to a point where I don't like the character or anyone around him. And it's one of the few anime where the humor sometimes lands for me. Oftentimes when anime tries humor, it doesn't really make me laugh. But I actually did have a couple giggles throughout Chainsaw Man, so that was a pleasant surprise and pretty refreshing. It just doesn't really fall into like anything I expected from a mainstream anime. Of course it has tons of cliches and tons of tropes, but it never like overuses it or has it overstay its welcome. Everything in this show is mainly geared as a vessel towards more over-the-top and fucking beautiful action, and I really just appreciated that. Now, there's only 12 episodes of this season, which is a little disappointing because shows like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer, both of which had comparable levels of animation quality, as well as very similar levels of hype, both of those had 24 and 26 episode long seasons. Season 1 of Demon Slayer was 26 episodes, Season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen was 24, and it was able to hold this intensity, like this full fucking nuts to butts action and jaw-dropping animation for a long time, whereas Chainsaw Man's very bite-sized, like it's giving you an appetizer. So I'm hoping that it can continue this level of quality. I hope it doesn't like fall off and, suck shit, because that'd be tragic. But yeah, it is just a little underwhelming that it's such a short season. I would have liked more episodes because it's just so good, and I would have really liked more time to get drawn into the entire universe and see more of it. But it's still extremely good. Plugging it in the moist meter, I'm going to be giving it a 90%. I do highly recommend it, especially if you like shows like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer. So yeah, lived up to the hype, so I was satisfied. That's about it. See ya. GodSlap is a comic book series we've been working on for a couple years now. It's a hyper-violent, over-the-top sci-fi story about the beauty and destruction that slaps can cause. Issue 2 is out right now. It'd make a wonderful Christmas gift, so make sure to check it out at godslapbook.com. Right now, we also have 3 variant covers that are in stock, but the second those sell out, those variant covers will never be restocked, so definitely make sure to pick up a copy today.